So, cooks, I can't say that I've actually ever made molasses cookies, but today we pulled a card out of our handwritten recipe collection for Grandma's soft molasses cookies. I love molasses cookies, but I don't think I've ever made them. So, Grandma, we're going to make your cookies today on the Recipe Vault. So, welcome to the Amy Learns to Cook kitchen. So today we're using the KitchenAid Pro Line model. This came out before the new model, so it's the Pro Line. I love this is cast iron, I think is the color. So our recipe collection is, we do this every Sunday. Basically, I'm teaching myself Grandma's recipes, right? So I have a bunch of recipe boxes that I bought that are filled with handwritten recipes. I have no idea whose grandma these came from because I bought them in an auction, but they are from all over the country. So we are working our way through these recipes, and there's thousands of them. So we will be working through them for a long time, right? Today we're making soft molasses cookies, Grandma's molasses cookies. There could be a time that we make a recipe like we make one molasses cookie recipe and then another molasses cookie recipe because we're cooking through Grandma's recipes, right? But today, this one is from Pennsylvania, right? So in here, I have some butter. This recipe will be up on my website. I have some butter, and we're going to put in some shortening into this mixer. The recipe calls for lard, but I'm substituting shortening because that's what I have. You can substitute shortening 1-to-1 with lard. We're going to go ahead and put the paddle on here. And we're going to give this a little cream action. Oops, I have a little bit more shortening on my paddle. We're going to give it some sugar. We're going to let this cream a bit. Ooh, I miss a stand mixer.
It's quiet too.
It's quiet. It's quiet.
Well, we don't want to be screeching in people's ears, do we?
Rumor has it that I have like a really, really weird addiction to stand mixers.
I don't know
what they're talking about.
I don't know.
So we're going to drop in a couple eggs.
Ooh.
Fairly common, right? Common ingredient for cookies is some eggs. I think I want to give it a little scraper doodle. Scraper doodle. Do you guys like molasses cookies? They have an interesting flavor. This one has a lot of cloves in it. So it's going to be a fairly strong recipe.
Sounds like it's hitting a bowl.
Maybe just hit the Next, we're putting in a whole bunch of molasses. Ooh. Actually need to lower this bowl and scrape this out. Okay, I went and got me another scraper pencil. Scrape this down real quick. Scraper, 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 scraper! Molasses has a certain smell to it. Different than other things. So I have some hot water here, and it says to add the baking soda to the hot water. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to add this. Probably want you to make sure that it's thoroughly, woo! It's fizzling. Make sure that it's fully dissolved. So we have cinnamon, cloves, salt, and then the flour. And it tells you the flour is 3.5 to 4 cups of flour. Start with 3.5 and then add more if you need to, but you don't want it to be too stiff. So I'm going to start adding some flour. I'm going to add half of it. And I'm going to add our seasoning. So salt, cinnamon, cloves, 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 cloves. Still too liquidy. Still too liquidy.
Will that flour slowly grab all that liquid?
I don't know. It looks like a cake batter to me.
In the oven.
You can't, I don't think you can make this into a cookie. Let me get a little bit more flour. I don't think I can make that into a cookie. So this is how it currently is. I think I want it slightly thicker, so I will be able to scoop it and form it into a cookie. So I'm just going to add a little bit more flour. See, can we form this into a cookie?
You probably can.
It's going to be really soft. I think that molasses makes it super soft.
Well, the problem is if you add too much flour to it, I think you're going to have a hard ball come out of the oven.
Okay, we're going to go with that. So it wants us to put this in the fridge for 2 hours. and hopefully it'll firm up then. So we're gonna do that 2 hours. We will be back to form our cookies. Okay, so it's been a couple hours and our cookie dough is cooking. I can say that molasses has a strong smell. So we're just going to cookie these down. Cookie them down. That's a scientific word. I'm cooking them down. We're gonna bake these. What's funny is the recipe doesn't have like the oven temp or the time. So I'm doing it 350 because we have no other guidance from the recipe creator. It did help. I put an extra half a cup of flour in there. I didn't think it looked like it was coming together enough. We got another rack here. They're sticky, that's for sure. They're sticking inside my scoop. So this is my favorite Volrath scoop. I'll put a link in the description for it. Maybe that strong molasses scent will take a chill pill once they're baked.
Maybe it'll smell tasty.
So I'll put these in the oven, and when we have cookies, we'll be back. So does the recipe vault have its first fail?
I don't know.
So there was no instructions on temperature or time. So we did it 350. These we obviously underbaked. These we baked longer. You want to try one, Boo? I can't confirm or deny that I did try one already.
I can.
So, they're definitely soft. One of the things I can tell you is I think this recipe is just a little out of balance. I don't think there's enough salt. I think there's way too much molasses. If you like really deep molasses flavor, this would be a recipe for you. It has a cup. And typically I only see about a third of a cup of molasses. A quarter cup, a third of a cup. To me, it's just way too much molasses. What do you think, Bill?
So it is soft in the middle. It's slightly crunchy on the outside. Mm-hmm. We experimented with 2 different cook times because one wasn't provided. So the first one we cooked for 10 minutes and I let it sit on the baking sheet for maybe 5 minutes before I put it on there. And as you said, Boo Boo, how'd they come out?
Yeah. Even when you baked it longer and left it longer on the sheet, there's still molasses cookies. You know, this says soft, but I kind of want a little bit of crackly on the top. These just don't do it for me. What do you feel, Bill?
So the second batch I cooked for 13 minutes and I let it sit on the baking sheet until it hit room temperature pretty much. So it sat at least 10 minutes. And it's still on the bottom, a little sticky, especially in the middle. The outside is firm, but the middle is definitely a little on the sticky side. Is it raw? I don't know. I can tell you the first ones kind of taste raw. These ones are a little bit better. We didn't roll these in sugar, so it didn't absorb any extra liquid like some recipes out there say to do.
It didn't say to do that.
No. I'm afraid that if we bake them much longer, then they might get overcooked and then they might be harder. So you're balancing crispiness versus soft, right?
So the recipe vault, right? I think this needs to go back to the drawing board. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, the like button, and join my Facebook group where we can talk about all things cooking, baking, and mixers, right? Thanks for joining me.